In the previous chapter, Princess Yongning frantically informed Zhuo Fan that Xuange had been taken by an unknown prince who harassed them. Despite warnings of a possible setup, Zhuo Fan set out determined to save her. Meanwhile, deep in a forest, Xuange lay unconscious, protected by a mysterious blue barrier. Elder Lu, revealed in his soul form as a rare dream butterfly, struggled to control her mind, unable to understand why his powers had failed. Let's begin the story. Whoosh! Zhuo Fan was carrying an absent-minded Yongning, floating above a dense forest. He was scanning the area where she had pointed, looking for something. He took you long enough. Once I tear you to pieces, I'll make sure to send these two brats after you. Elder Lu's sinister voice echoed, as he ventured deeper into the forest, disappearing after passing a large tree. Only Xuange was left, resting peacefully against another tree, seemingly unaware of the looming danger. Zhuo Fan floated across the vast sea of trees, his gaze sharp. After a few moments, Yongning pointed to a massive tree ahead. "Look, it's Xuange," she said. "Ha ha ha, you have sharper eyes than I do." Zhuo Fan laughed as he descended swiftly. "Let's go over there." Whoosh! Zhuo Fan landed in an instant and saw Xuange peacefully resting on the tree, still unaware of the danger that lurked around her. Zhuo Fan, still holding Yongning close, scrutinized the surroundings carefully. He was cautious of every rustle in the leaves, his eyes glinting with suspicion. Before they could approach Xuange, they suddenly felt the world around them blur. A blue haze descended, swallowing them whole. The world around them faded until it was entirely white, a void stretching endlessly in every direction. Yongning next to him looked disoriented, her form slowly fading away as well. Only Zhuo Fan remained, staring around in disbelief. "Illusion?" Zhuo Fan muttered under his breath, his frown deepening. He immediately understood what was happening. Figured it would be a trap. "No sign of any arrays around, so someone's behind this." A mocking, aged voice rang out from the void, sending a chill down his spine. "Ha ha ha, you jumped right in despite knowing? You brat, your arrogance knows no bounds." Zhuo Fan smirked. "Elder Lu, aren't you ashamed of using two little girls as bait? You're an ethereal stage expert, and this is your plan?" Elder Lu's voice grew defensive. "And, with you being in the Double Dragon Manor and those three venerables protecting you, what other choice did I have? I noticed yesterday you were close to these two, so I decided to bewilder their minds to draw you out. But what's wrong with one of them? No matter what I tried, she refused to obey me." Zhuo Fan nodded knowingly. "That's Xuange. She's the Holy Maiden of Tianyu, an expert at piercing the veil of fate and resisting mind tricks. Illusions won't work on her. It's like painting a target on your head." Elder Lu's voice grew even more agitated. "So that's why. I've heard of Tianyu's strange clans, but now I see they're anything but normal. But kid, why are you telling me this? Don't you care if I take her and turn her into my guinea pig?" Zhuo Fan's eyes glinted with malice. "As if the dead can't research anything." With that, Zhuo Fan gave his trademark sinister smile. "I'm telling you this because I know you'll keep it a secret. The dead are the best in the business." Elder Lu burst out laughing. "You really know how to talk big. Now that I have you right where I want you, do you think you can just take my life? I've got your body, haven't I? Taking your soul would be a walk in the park." Zhuo Fan flapped his wings, releasing an ethereal glow. Old coot, you should know by now that no illusion can ever come close to reality. My sea phantom wings will trap you in an illusion the moment you enter their haze, and then you'll be trapped in your own web." Zhuo Fan's wings spread wide, sending out a hazy mist toward Elder Lu. Elder Lu's mocking laughter filled the air. "Damn, brat. You're just like a brainless monkey with all the right skills. Sea phantom wings are rare, yes, but they only affect the body. I am just a soul, so they won't work on me." "Ha ha ha ha," Zhuo Fan frowned. Realizing the flaw in his approach, he immediately withdrew his wings and raised his right hand, glowing with a fiery red light. "No illusions are real, but this fist of mine is the truth. Illusions rely on the surrounding reality. If I destroy the surroundings, your illusion will collapse along with it." Zhuo Fan's eyes flashed, and his red hand glowed even brighter as he punched the ground with all his might. Boom! The earth shook violently, but the moment the glow faded, Zhuo Fan was blown backward, spitting blood as he flew through the air. "Ha ha ha! Had enough? No matter how much power you have, you'll never break my illusion." Elder Lu's mocking laughter rang out, full of confidence. Zhuo Fan staggered to his feet, shaking his head in disbelief. Can't be. The recoil has to be part of the illusion. My punch should have ruined the ground. A few more strikes and the illusion should have fallen apart. But Zhuo Fan continued to strike the ground with all his strength. Every time his fist landed, the area shook, but the illusion did not crumble. By the time he had punched 5 times, he was covered in blood, nearly unrecognizable as human. Elder Lu's laughter continued, delighted by Zhuo Fan's struggle. "No matter how strong you are, you're finished now. This is my world. In here, I'm God." The space around Zhuo Fan warped and twisted. His legs sank into a pool of blood, and from the depths of the void came the ghastly howls and shrieks of countless specters. They were hideous and blood-stained, their eyes filled with cruelty and bloodlust. "Zhuo Fan, give me back my life!" The specters wailed in unison, voices dripping with malice. "Zhuo Fan, give me back my life!" Among the specters were faces Zhuo Fan had seen before, those of people he had killed. Now they had returned to take his life. Zhuo Fan's eyes narrowed, and he roared, "Rod, impossible! This is just an illusion. I'll break you into pieces again." Ah! Zhuo Fan tried to strike again, but before he could, he felt his arm caught by the specters. They crawled over him, gnawing at his flesh. The Keelan arm, once mighty and indestructible, was chewed away, bone by bone. Zhuo Fan's face twisted in disbelief. "No, this can't be happening in an illusion. This isn't real." True, it's an illusion, but when someone dies in an illusion, they die in the real world too. Ha ha ha. Elder Lu's voice filled with malicious delight. Zhuo Fan screamed, feeling the pain as the specters devoured his body. His form began to sink into the blood pool, being consumed piece by piece until he disappeared entirely. Meanwhile, in the real world, Zhuo Fan stood motionless. His eyes were closed and a deep frown twisted his face. His legs were trembling, unable to move from their spot. A blue butterfly fluttered around him, casting a hazy glow, its laughter echoing madly in the silence. He, dumb boy! You were wrong from the start. My soul is that of the dream butterfly. I send people into nightmares, not illusions. No matter what you try, it won't help because I control your nightmare. In my world, I am God. Go ahead and struggle as much as you like. It won't help. The fist in your dream is not the same as reality. The only thing connecting you to reality is life itself. If you die in the dream, you die here too. But even that is under my control. I will make you suffer for killing my sect's disciples. Ha ha ha. Too bad you'll never succeed. The dream butterfly chuckled. Zhuo Fan shivered as he heard its voice, but he slowly opened his eyes, revealing a smirk that chilled the air. "You're awake?" he asked, mocking the butterfly. "I never fell asleep to begin with." The pain that had contorted Zhuo Fan's face vanished, replaced by his trademark smirk. Dream Butterfly is a rare soul form, good at catching people off guard. But too bad for you, you had to face me, your natural enemy. Elder Lu's voice trembled in disbelief. No way. You're telling me you woke up from my nightmare? Ha ha ha, haven't you been listening? I never even fell asleep, Zhuo Fan laughed, his figure flickering as he faded into the shadows. Elder Lu gasped in terror, looking around in panic. Nearby, another Zhuo Fan casually leaned against a tree, laughing to himself. His right eye flashed with 3 golden halos, and around the dream butterfly, an invisible barrier rippled, ready to collapse the dream world entirely. Zhuo Fan's eyes gleamed with a cold intensity as he activated the 3rd stage of his Divine Eye of the Void, Mirage World. In his mind, a single thought resonated with purpose, and the glowing halos around him flickered ominously. The world around Elder Lu began to shift, the clear, bright sky twisting into a chilling darkness. Above, a blood moon rose, its crimson hue resembling a watchful eye, ominously observing everything below. Elder Lu's heart sank as he realized something was horribly wrong. This is an illusion? Elder Lu stammered, his voice laced with disbelief. You mean to tell me that I was the one who fell for it? From above the swirling clouds, a sinister laugh echoed, sharp and mocking. Hey, you guessed it, old coot. Even before you unleashed your nightmare, I caught you in mine. Welcome to my world. And guess what? The one who's going to die? Is you! The laughter grew louder, drenched in malice. Elder Lu froze, struggling to comprehend. Impossible! When did you find out I was hiding? A dismissive snicker cut through the silence. You don't need to know, Zhuo Fan replied coldly, watching from a distance with a twisted smile. The blood infant floated down to perch on his shoulder, its eerie giggles blending seamlessly with Zhuo Fan's sinister demeanor. To Zhuo Fan, everything was going according to plan. When Yongning had pointed out this place, he had sent the blood infant ahead to scout the area, and it hadn't taken long to uncover Elder Lu's trap. But instead of confronting him directly, Zhuo Fan set his own counter-snare, using the mirage world to create an illusion. Elder Lu had been so consumed by his anticipation of victory that he failed to notice he had walked straight into the trap. What followed was a cruel irony. While Elder Lu believed he was the hunter, Zhuo Fan had already ensnared him in his illusion. From the very beginning, every move Elder Lu made had been part of Zhuo Fan's carefully orchestrated game. Suddenly, the earth began to quake violently, and a chorus of deafening draconic roars tore through the air. The ground split open with a thunderous explosion as hundreds of dragons emerged, their massive forms spiraling into the sky. Elder Lu trembled, paralyzed by the sight before him. Zhuo Fan's voice cut through the chaos, dripping with disdain. Elder Lu, no matter how terrifying your nightmare may be, it's useless if it has no target. Within my mirage world, escape is, well, let's just say highly unlikely. Ha ha ha. The old man's face contorted in fear and desperation. What do you want? His voice cracked as he tried to maintain composure, though it was clear he was grasping at straws. Zhuo Fan's grin widened. What do I want? Why, I simply want to return the favor. Didn't you say something about how those who die in illusions die in reality as well? So brace yourself. Let's see how long you can hold on before your soul slips away. Wouldn't that be funny? Ha ha ha. Elder Lu's expression darkened, his soul trembling as he snarled in defiance. You wouldn't dare! Killing someone in the Double Dragon manner do? You even understand the consequences? Zhuo Fan scoffed at the hollow threat. If you were willing to kill me, why can't I do the same? Fair is fair, isn't it? Now, old coot, why don't you experience being torn apart by thousands of dragons? It's poetic. As Zhuo Fan's words echoed, the dragons roared in unison and descended upon Elder Lu. He tried to flee, but the illusion offered no escape. A single dragon lunged, tearing into his wing. The others followed, ripping at him with relentless ferocity, their jaws snapping and tearing until his soul was shredded to pieces. Elder Lu's agonized screams reverberated through the illusion, a chilling symphony of pain and despair. Outside the illusion, the dream butterfly thrashed violently, its cries mirroring Elder Lu's torment. Zhuo Fan stood at a distance, his vile smile unyielding as he watched the spectacle. His heaven dragon soul made him stronger than ever, far surpassing the capabilities he had in Tianyu. He had once struggled against a peak radiant stage expert, but now, even an ethereal stage powerhouse like Elder Lu was nothing more than prey. Zhuo Fan's confidence soared. With this strength, he could easily outmaneuver the average experts of the Western lands. The realization filled him with pride. Aren't I just a bit too strong for my age? Those old geezers don't stand a chance. Ha ha ha. His moment of self-admiration was abruptly interrupted by an unfamiliar voice. Oh, you caught Lu so easily? Ha ha ha. It seems he got what was coming to him. Kid, you've got some skill, by the looks of it. The lower 3-sex stage is too small to contain your talents. Zhuo Fan spun around, startled. Standing before him was an old man, with jet black hair and eyes that gleamed with an unsettling depth. His faint smile betrayed a quiet power that made Zhuo Fan's heart race. The shock shattered his concentration, and the illusion around Elder Lu collapsed. The battered soul of Elder Lu fell to the ground, gasping and broken. But Zhuo Fan's attention was locked on the old man. There was an aura about him, formidable and oppressive. It reminded Zhuo Fan of Danking Shen. The man's presence spoke volumes. He wasn't just powerful. He was one of the strongest beings in the Western lands. Zhuo Fan composed himself, cupping his hands in respect. May I ask, who is this senior? Before the old man could respond, a weak voice croaked from the side. Exalted Heiran! Elder Lu's tone was filled with relief and desperation as he addressed the newcomer. Exalted, you've arrived just in time. This boy dared to violate the rules of the Double Dragon Manor. Please, punish him! Zhuofan's brow furrowed as he processed the title. Exalted Heiran? Elder Lu smirked weakly, finding renewed confidence. That's right, brat. Do you even realize who stands before you? This is Exalted Heiran, one of the exalted double dragons, the pinnacle of demonic cultivation in the Western lands. You're finished! Zhuofan's eyes widened in shock. One of the exalted double dragons? The name alone carried immense weight. These were the strongest cultivators in the Western lands, second to none after Danking Shen's departure. Exalted Heiran, however, merely chuckled. His voice was calm, almost amused. Kid, there's no need to panic. I didn't come here for you. In fact, I came to help. But from what I've seen, it seems my help wasn't required. Ha ha ha. Elder Lu's confidence faltered. Exalted this boy. He broke the manor's rules. How can... Silence. Exalted Heiran's gaze turned sharp, silencing the elder immediately. His tone was cold and commanding. Elder Lu, do you take me for a fool? You kidnapped those girls. He gestured toward the unconscious Shuanger and Yongning, and blatantly disregarded the manor's authority for your petty vendetta. Do you have any idea how much you've tarnished our reputation? Elder Lu stammered, attempting a feeble defense. But Enough! With a mere flick of his finger, Exalted Heiran sent a ball of energy hurtling toward Elder Lu's soul. It shattered instantly, erasing him from existence. The sheer efficiency of the act left Zhuofan stunned. To kill someone as powerful as Elder Lu so effortlessly was a testament to Exalted Heiran's overwhelming strength. The Exalted's eyes softened as he turned back to Zhuofan, a faint smile playing on his lips. You truly are remarkable, boy. To possess such power at your age, the Western lands are fortunate to have you. You might even surpass that expelled disciple of ours. Zhuofan stiffened. Expelled disciple? His mind raced. He must mean Danking Shen, but is he saying this out of pride or bitterness? As Zhuofan stared into Exalted Heiran's enigmatic smile, he couldn't shake the feeling of uncertainty. Was this a gesture of approval or a veiled warning?